Hello, welcome back to Bethel's Kitchen, and due to a great request, I'm back. So I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make tiramisu. Okay, so for the tiramisu, you're gonna need 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream, 8 ounces of mascarpone cheese, a third cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1.5 cups of cold coffee. I'm using Ethiopian coffee and it's already chilled. About 24 ladyfingers, 1 package, and cocoa powder, which is optional. It's just for topping. Just to make sure that my coffee is really set, I'm gonna put it in the fridge until I am ready to put the coffee in. To start with the recipe, you're gonna add your 1.5 cups of heavy cream to a big bowl. Now I'm gonna mix your heavy cream until you get stiff peaks on medium to high speed. Now once you reach your stiff peaks, you're gonna add slowly your sugar and only add half of your sugar and add half of your vanilla. Continue mixing. Only mix for like 30 seconds. Now that you already mixed for 30 seconds, add the rest of your white sugar and the rest of your vanilla. Now for this part, you can mix it with the mixer, but I'm gonna be using a spatula so it doesn't get too thick. The heavy cream does have stiff peaks, but I'm gonna mix a little bit more because it's still a little bit like runny. So I'm just gonna mix it for like another minute or so. So I think I'm done mixing. Seems pretty thick enough. So once you've reached a texture like this, then it's time for the next step. Now we're gonna add our mascarpone cheese. This cheese is pretty hard to find in grocery stores. I had to go to 3 stores to find it, but it's like a really key ingredient for the recipe. Now add the cheese to your cream mixture, the heavy cream mixture. Probably should have added half first, but I mean, it's whatever. Just continue mixing until it's fully combined. Once you finish mixing, it should be like this, and now we're ready for the next step. Okay, so we're actually done with the filling, so now we're gonna get ready for the layering part. We're gonna layer as cookie, cream, and then the cocoa powder on top, but you can add cocoa powder in between layers if you'd like, but I'm just adding it on top. Like I mentioned before, I'm using Ethiopian coffee, but you can use either espresso or very strong coffee. So we're already done with the filling, so now we're gonna add our ladyfingers into the coffee and layer them. So I have all my ladyfingers displayed. I'm gonna dip them in the coffee mixture, which is right here. Okay. I also have a brush just in case I have any excess coffee because this is a lot. So I wanna make sure that I use every single bit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start. Like I said before, do not dip it too much because you don't want it to get soggy, but just enough. I actually changed my mind. I'm gonna be doing them vertical because there's not enough room to do them horizontal, so I'm doing them vertical. And I'm gonna start fully dipping them because these are like a lot thicker than regular ladyfingers because ladyfingers are hard to find as well in grocery stores. So they absorb more coffee, so it's okay to fully dip these, but not ladyfingers. But I'm just gonna lay it out and see how it's gonna look. Feel it like that? Yeah. I actually don't know. I'm gonna ask my mom. Okay, so my mom said I should do it horizontal, so I'm gonna be doing it horizontal. I'm not snapping them in half. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. And now I'm gonna just brush some more coffee on top. Just pour some coffee in there. It's kind of like tres leches, how you like absorb all the milks and stuff, like, you know. but just with cookies instead. Now you're gonna take your cream filling and you're gonna layer it on top of the cookies. Just make sure that you smooth it out and cover every single like last bit of room. I like to do like 2 big spoons just until it's fully covered. So this is the best I can smooth it out. So I'm just gonna get a spoon and try covering some bits that the spatula can't reach, like the edges and stuff. Let's cover every last bit. So since I don't have as many lady fingers as I did before, I'm gonna have to like space them out a little bit more. So there's not gonna be as much cookie, there's gonna be more cream, but that's totally fine. So I'm just gonna start rolling them in the coffee mixture like I did before. Try to absorb all that. And just place. And just continue with that until you finish the rest of your cookies. So now I'm gonna add the rest of the filling on top of the cookies because I added most coffee that I could. And it's pretty much all I can do now. So I'm gonna smooth out the top and then we'll go to the next step. So I added a little bit of the coffee to the cream. So now it's like a coffee cream and I'm just gonna put that on top. Oops, I got it on my shirt. Be careful when you're smoothing out the cream and don't mush the cookies by accident because if you absorb more coffee in the cookies, they're easy to smush. So make sure you're very careful with that part. So I took a little spoon of the cream with the coffee mixed in it, and I definitely recommend mixing the coffee because it makes it taste a lot better. So now that I finished layering, I'm gonna go to the final step. Before I go to the next step, I'm just gonna clean up my station a little bit so I have a clean surface to work with because there's like coffee almost everywhere. Now that we finished layering our tiramisu, it's kind of darker in person because I added coffee to the last bit of cream. So it's a little bit more like coffee. Oh, and I forgot to mention that you can add rum if you would like to the cream mixture, but I'm keeping it child friendly. So now I'm gonna add the cocoa powder to the tiramisu on top just for some dusting. You can shave chocolate, but I just thought that the cocoa powder would be enough, but if you like to do that, you can. Now that I have some cocoa powder in the sifter, I'm just gonna sift it on top and make sure that the full top is covered. You sure you don't rush this part so it doesn't look like messy or anything, and make it look a little bit classy, you know? Okay, so I've gotten every last bit covered. Now I am going to clean up the sides to make it look a little bit more fresh. This is the final tiramisu. Now we're gonna let it sit in the fridge for about, you can set it for 3.5 hours to overnight, which is basically 7 hours, but it's already 7:20 where I am, so I'm just going to give it about 4 hours to set. And by the way, the longer that you set it for is the better that it gets. So I'm gonna come back to you guys at around 11 o'clock. Hello, so I actually chose to leave the tiramisu overnight so it chills more and tastes better. So this is how the tiramisu is looking so far. Now I'm gonna cut myself a slice. Okay, so here is the tiramisu. Now I'm gonna go ahead and try it. This tiramisu is very good. So please comment down below what you guys would like to see me make next and what you think of the tiramisu. And yeah, welcome back to Betsa's Kitchen.